Hi, Facebook. I'm just messed up on my Instagram. Hello, LinkedIn. Hello, Facebook. Hello, YouTube. Hello, Instagram. Hello, hello, hello. It is I'm back. It's Emily Haruko Lieb. You're watching EmTV. Thanks for being here. Again, not hydrating myself before these videos. Hi, folks. Happy to have you here. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being here. If you're watching on the replay, so nice to have you here. If you're watching live, thank you for joining me. And I'm coming on today. Our topic is schema fractures. And the subtopic is because I really like fancy terms. So I want to talk to you guys, first of all, about what a schema fracture is. It's a term used in psychology. I am not a psychologist. I am a certified life and business coach who has been coaching for 6 years, and coaching to me is a lot about creating the future. And it's not that the past doesn't come up when we talk about the future, it's not the focus. So the past is often the focus in psychology and counseling and healing past traumas and wounds, and all very important work. All of the work is needed, all of the work is important. The focus in coaching is a lot about creating the future and living a fulfilling life aligned with your values and creating joy and impact and whatever else it is that you may want to work on in your life or business. So the term schema fracture comes from the world of psychology, and it means that when something happens to you, if you've had an experience, or maybe something happens in a relationship, or something's happening globally, and you cannot be with what's happening, like it's too much to be with, you do not accept it, we call that a schema fracture. A schema fracture is not being able to be with something that is actually happening in the world or in your life. And I'm bringing this up because I think it's so important for us to talk about how we can be with our emotions, right? So if you think about no emotions, neutrality as kind of like flatlined, which essentially is death. And when maybe on the top half of the grid, we have all of the positive, what we deem positive emotions like happiness, joy, pleasure, fulfillment, connection, community, impact, laughter, play. All of these things live on the upper gradient of flatline, right? And then below flatline, we have the harder parts of life, which might be like grief, sorrow, destruction, sadness, anger, lack of fulfillment. And what we don't realize is that how we experience our emotions is an equal and opposite reaction to the other side of neutrality. So as much as you can experience joy and pleasure and fulfillment and laughter, is as much as you will or can experience grief, sorrow, sadness. And what we do is we try to live like this. Like I can have a little bit of joy because I only want to have like a little bit of sadness. I can have like a little bit of pleasure, but I don't want to be like, betrayed and hurt. I can have like a little bit of success, but I don't want to deal with like whatever the repercussions are of that anger and stress and whatever the below is. And what I make up what happens when people have this limited range of being when it comes to their emotions is they're inevitably dealing with a schema fracture in their life because they can't be with stuff that's happening below neutrality. And when you can't be with stuff, or maybe you can't be with stuff that's happening above neutrality. Maybe you're one of those people that's like, this is too good to be true. So then you sabotage things and you trigger what's called your upper limit, and you like have to bring things back down to neutrality. Things can't be too good. Life can't be too good. I can't have too much pleasure in my life. I can't have too much success in my life. Or it's the opposite. I don't want to have too much sorrow in my life. I don't want to have too much grief. I don't want to have too much pain. I don't want to have too much destruction. I don't want to have too much chaos. And so we go back and forth and we try to live these like, you know, mediocre lives that are centered around flatline, that are centered around neutrality. And I call that living in your schema fracture, because there's something that you can't be with that's affecting your way of life. There's something that you can't tolerate, that you can't make room for, that has you living mediocre in just this little range. And how we change our schema fracture is by changing the way we view the world, by changing the way that we experience the world. And when you can change the way you view the world and change the way you experience the world, you have room for grief, pain, sorrow, destruction, You have room for global warming, war, shitty politics. Shitty, it's projection, but you guys get what I'm saying. So the way you change your schema fracture is you change the way that you view the world. And when you change the way you view the world, you respond differently to the world around you, and you create room and space. And best of all, you create equal and opposite reactions for you to experience more joy, more pleasure, more pain, more sorrow, more hurt, more laughter, more whatever it is that you want to create more of. So to just really create some space for yourself to go deep. What does it feel like to be in the sorrow? What does it feel like to be in the destruction? What does it feel like to be in the chaos? And can you let yourself just really be there? Knowing that none of this lasts forever. Not the highs nor the lows. Can you be there when things are so good in your relationship? When things are like ecstatic and you're connected and there's intimacy and there's joy and there's fulfillment and there's pleasure and there's laughter, there's connection. Can you let yourself be there? Can you turn up the dial and like just ooze just fulfillment and laughter and love and happiness? Can you really be there? Knowing that at some point, yes, it's going to cost you, because that is life. And when you have a well-rounded view of what life is, you minimize your schema fractures. You minimize the impact of the things that you can't be with. You minimize the things that you no longer can tolerate, and you begin to tolerate more. You begin to accept more. And you then begin to experience things. From a grounded place, you can do this. You can experience the highs, you can experience the lows, and you can be in the experience. So, question that I pose to you guys is, how much of yourself, if this is neutrality, how much are you letting yourself dip into either side of neutrality? How much are you letting yourself experience joy, pleasure, laughter, fulfillment? How much are you letting yourself experience despair and chaos and destruction? Because all of it is a part of life. And when you can have room for all of it, this is what living an empowered life looks like. Because there's room for all of life to show up, because it happens. Because it happens. As opposed to denying it or pretending that it's not going to happen or that you don't want it to happen or whatever the case may be. So my wish for you is that you just look at your own schema fractures. What is it that you cannot be with in life right now? And what would life look like if you could just create a little bit more space around that area? So I'm wishing you a happy Wednesday, June 5th, 2019. I would love if you would share this video if it impacted you. You can comment on it. You can reach out to me if there's something that you want to talk about or something that came up for you, triggered something for you, or an insight that you have. I'd love to interact with you guys. That's what I'm here for. I'm sending you so much love from my heart to yours, and I will be back tomorrow. Have a blessed day, evening, whenever you're watching this. Bye for now. Ciao, ciao.